Yeah, I don't remember exactly the exact moment, but I remember it's been a long, it was since the Aurora 16 and 8, and I remember seeing it in a studio, and seeing it was an interface for Pro Tools at the time. In the studio that I saw it, it was used for that, and I asked about it because obviously it had a very unique look as well. And when it comes to the new Aurora, um, several of my friends and colleagues started talking about it when it was announced, mostly for two reasons. One, obviously, the first one is the fact that it was a new product by Lynx, and obviously, especially after the Hello, the high, I don't know if it's pronounce it Hilo or Hilo, but Hilo, especially after the Hilo, knowing that something was coming that obviously would have somehow inherited some of the DNA to a certain extent. The fact that it was a modular product, and so it wasn't the announcement of a new converter, but was the announcement of a platform that was really interesting to me. It presented two statements. One, obviously, is something new, but second, a commitment to a platform, meaning they really thought it through. It's not going to be like other companies. Okay, this is the best, and then a year or two from now, oh, this is the second. That's no, that wasn't the best. This is the best. You know what I mean? There was a commitment to a platform that had been designed, studied, and explored to its limits, to know, to confidently being able to say, we're going to be here for a certain amount of time with this, and you can trust that it's going to be, that it's going to be supported, first of all, and it's going to provide you with the quality, exponential quality that you'll need, that'll grow with you as well. So those were the two main things, I think. I mean, so the name and the box had been around for a while, and the rekindling was when the N came out and was announced for me.
Looking for your favorite things.
To me, the icing on the cake was the built-in recording. I mean, to me, the built-in recorder was really the star of the show for me. Because like a lot of people that have written and worked with computers, some of them don't realize. It took me a long time for me to realize is that you start listening with your eyes. And I was writing music, and before playing, because I have a lot of synths, as you can see, and I fiddle and I play a lot around. I just set up and just start making music. Whether it's going to be recorded or not, it's almost irrelevant. But for uh, for the longest time, I would spend time just setting up my Logic session. So indirectly, emotionally, you're still looking at a screen and working. It's there's that in between, which is whatever's happening here creatively, and it's going in there. So that's sort of like the mouth of truth, like it's going in the Logic. And so when I was able to bypass that by just simply not turning on the computer and pressing record, and one thing that that the Lynx has that the didn't allow me to do was to be able to normal all my inputs to all the outputs. So now all of a sudden, everything that is on my patch bay, you know, going into my inputs of the Lynx, it's normal to my mixer as well. It really liberated me from a creative point of view. Now I don't have to even turn on the computer. So I'm not looking at a screen. I'm only dealing with my machines, and it's great. Well, my last two records, well, Volume Massimo came out in 2019, was mixed, and some overdubs on the Aurora, because it came to save the day essentially. And that record, my new record, which was recorded during the last few years and is coming out later this year. I've released a lot of archival work. I've always, as I said, I've always, and it's one factor that the Aurora has been helping a lot with. I've always recorded music every day for the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And I just, go into the studio and do something, not necessarily with the idea of releasing it. It's just a very therapeutic thing to do. And the more I've been doing it, the better I've become at archiving and feeling like I feel good doing it. And then one day I'll go back and figure out what I did. So I released about, I don't know, about 10, maybe more. I don't remember exactly how many, but releases on Bandcamp, and all those were mixed, with the Aurora. Ad work, I've done a lot of ad work with it as well. But now I'm doing pretty much, again, I'm back now. I'm back operative in the studio, and I've already started recording, and doing my tests with the room and everything, and it's already going. I'm already on a fresh new SD card.
Looking for your favorite things.
Okay, well, it's my main ADDA. When it comes to a main interface to record, the only thing I use is my Lynx, and it's basically a 24 in and out analog device plus AES, which I don't use. I bought the AES EVO option because I felt like a grown up by ordering it, but I haven't really used it. So I'm sure one day I will, or maybe I'll bug Albert. It's like, hey Albert, I think I'm gonna swap it for something that actually maybe I will use. I don't know, but so it is set up in my patch base, so all the inputs and all the analog inputs and all outputs are normal um, to my mixer, and to my inputs I have normaled all my modulars, so they go into an Avidis keep rate, and then from there they go to 6 inputs in the sound card, in the Aurora, and so on. But everything, the cool thing is that everything that comes in is normal to my mixer, so I can, whether I'm recording or not, I can just play around. When it came to deciding to put my faith in converters and a piece of gear that I had to be reliable, I needed to be reliable 24/7, and I needed to know that I could send an email regardless who I am, what band I play in, just because, hey, your product is giving me these issues. I think, what do you think? Can you help me? You know, I just don't want to feel, especially if you spend money, you don't want to feel powerless. You don't want to feel like you're left on your own, spending hours in a forum. But the one thing, when I talked to Albert, and the few times that I had time, I know friends of mine that mailed in and got a beta version of a just rewritten driver, just to address whichever issues they had. Granted, you wouldn't be able to ask for something like that for a big company. I understand that, but I am also not, I'm not a big, for my world, that's what I'm looking for.